Did you ever think you'd be able to organise and establish all 3 events in such a short space of time?
Well, it's a bit of a logistical challenge to have 3 races happening in a city centre area all at the same time. So it's been one step at a time. 10k first, then we added the marathon. We've changed the course slightly to accommodate the half marathon. But fingers crossed, I think we've put enough good planning into it. I've actually listened a lot to some of the runners who took part last year as well. And I think we're going to have a great event this year, and it's going to grow, and I think the event is better for including the half marathon.
So you're not being kept awake by the thought of all the responsibility with the 6,000 runners?
A little bit. I mean, we've had a few headaches trying to get the course the way we want it, because it's more difficult than people might realise to get a half marathon route to come back to the start area, and then for the marathon runners to be able to carry on. So we've pretty much split the course, half on the south side, half on the north side this year, which was different to last year. So at times it's looked like an impossible mathematical equation, but it's all going to be great. And it showed last year. I think if you get a much better atmosphere when everybody's there together. So half marathon will start, and then about 30 minutes later the 10k will get underway, and then they'll all start finishing at different times, but all at the Stadium of Light. So I'm interested in growing the numbers of the event, and if we get 5,000 or 6,000 people this year, it'll be great. But I'm also wanting for the event to grow in stature, so that people come out and watch, that we involve the local community a little bit more. We've got lots of volunteers, we've got different groups wanting to help us out with the event. We've got young leaders, we've got people from the university, from schools. So it's really about involving the whole community in a big event. Well, I think what the Olympics and the Paralympics showed is that the competitors are important, but the Olympic legacy is about, for us also, getting people to volunteer. It's getting people to want to become officials. It's getting people to want to become coaches, or just to spectate. And that's what the Olympics showed. You can have all of that going on, and the success of the games in the summer is something we've got to build on, not just to find champions of the future, and it's about just sort of widening that opportunity. So one way to do that is to put not the Olympic Games on in Sunderland, but an event on. You've got to have events, because they act as a bit of a catalyst and a bit of a focal point for people. So I think all cities around the UK should be looking to try to put as many events on as possible, because people will come to them.
With the recent editions of the cross-country championships, like you mentioned, and the European team championships next year, what is it about the North East that makes it such a hotbed for athletics?
Well, it's always had a great tradition in the area, and I think people recognise that. People know that we understand athletics here, and tradition counts for a lot, and that people come and support it. And having big events is important. Great North Run, we've got European Team Championships in the stadium this year, which is fantastic. Events here in Sunderland, we've got cross countries going on. You've got to keep showing people that you can deliver that, because that's what galvanises those around to come and take part. So I think the North East is always going to be popular in that sense, because it always gets well supported.
You've shown through marathon running, obviously this year at the Paralympics, that you can get glory through of our events. How do you think the half marathon and the marathon and the City 10k, how can it develop young raw talent?
Yeah, I think it's because it's such a diverse activity, running for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. It's important that the local community realise that it's a great event, that people overcome so many different barriers, and how sport and the crossover from sport into the community can really inspire you just to think more positively about yourself. It's not about winning gold medals or being world record holder. It's about accepting the challenge, whatever it is, and then being positive about it, and positive things happen to positive people. And that's why I'm now going back into my road running, because I feel so strongly about the messages that come out of that, and hopefully people see those messages that I'm obviously portraying on the road, and they accept their own challenges themselves. The legacy of the Games is from events like this, and it's important that the local community, the local councils embrace the actual events themselves, and provide the local community with another sporting activity. And these events, I'm sure next year, will be full with elite athletes, with recreational runners that want to just get out there and do something positive.
So will you try and fit the Marathon of the North into your training next year?
yeah, that's a possibility. I'm not sure about my programming yet. All I know that I'm going to be running from John O'Groats to Land's End, which will be passing close to Sunderland. So it'd be nice to come before that, do an event, and hopefully get people to embrace what I'm doing and raise quite a lot of money for charity as well. Because sport is about putting things back into the community, and for me that's very important.